everybody. Take time, make time. We like to spend a little time with you. Welcome to the Jersey Spotlight. I'm TommyPetillo. Today on the show, we're going to reminisce a little bit and go back to the Brooklyn Paramount, to the first annual doo-wop awards. Right, Walter? I think we got that right. Mary Beth went on location and did some interviews with the Rob Roys and Joe Franklin and the Bobettes and a whole bunch of other groups, legendary groups, by the way. So stick around, don't go nowhere. We're coming right back. Okay, welcome back to the Jersey Spotlight. Mary Beth just joined me. Mary Beth?
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Oh, same here, same here. It's been a while, Tom.
We're going to reminisce a little bit today and go back to interviews Mary did with a bunch of groups.
Yeah, this should be a lot of fun. These interviews that you're about to see are a lot that we have spoken about. We interviewed a lot of fantastic groups like Herb Cox,
the Bobettes,
the
Rob Roys, Joe Franklin. You got
That's
on there
right.
too?
Joe Franklin was there. He was the host that evening. One of the hosts. There were quite a few. But these are just some of the interviews that we have spoken about a lot over the last year.
And it was a pretty historical event, actually. It was at the Brooklyn Paramount, where, of course, Alan Freed...
the original site of the Brooklyn
Alan
Paramount
Freed,
out at Long Island University, right?
That's right. That's what's there now. And that is where Alan Freed
started it all.
Rock and roll, all the rock and roll shows back in the 50s.
I should just say, for a lot of these groups that we interviewed, it really had a special place in their heart to be back there.
That's right.
And there was a lot of excitement that day, and everyone, to see old friends and everything, and just be back in there. Even though it's changed a lot, it still had a lot of the same architecture that you could see up above.
Amazing. How
and you just
beautiful
had to envision it, of what it really looked like back then.
So we're going to take you back to that day when Mary Beth did her interview with the first...
Our first one we're going to have is Herb Cox.
Herb Cox and the Clef Tones. Can't we be sweethearts? Great song, great group.
He sang it that night, I think, too.
Yes, he did. Okay, we're going to go there right now.
And I'm here on location in Brooklyn, New York, where Alan Freed started it all, right here at the original site of the Paramount. And with me today, I have Herb Cox of the Clef Tones.
How are you?
Oh, fine, thanks. And we're here at a tribute to the golden age of rock and roll and the first annual Brooklyn Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Awards. Okay, welcome, Herb.
Well,
so nice to meet you.
Thank you, and a pleasure meeting you, particularly being back here on our spot where we started in 1956. I was just a little kid. I was only about 6. No, I was.
You started that young?
No, but I was a youngster in high school, and we came in this very entrance that's in front of us here, and we worked with Alan Freed in 1956, 57, 58, and it really started our career, and our career is still going very strong here some 37 years later.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, a lot of the groups I've talked to, everyone's so excited to come back here and to see that they kept so much of the original building.
Well, it's fabulous. I hadn't been in this building for over 35 years, and when I came in here last November when they suggested this project, I was absolutely astounded that so much of the old theater was inside, and I looked up at all the architectures, and it's marvelous. And as I said, for me, there's so many memories in this particular building. We worked here with Alan Freed, we worked with Little Richard and Jackie Wilson and all the great vocal groups of the time. So this is really a coming home session for us.
Oh,
it's
that's
wonderful.
Great. Well, yeah, you guys, the original group, the Clef Tones, are from Jamaica, New York?
Jamaica, Queens, not Jamaica, West Indies, although that would be nice too. No, we're from Jamaica, Queens. We were high school students, and we were big fans, like many of the youngsters at the time, of Alan Freed. And we used to listen to his radio show, and we never really dreamed that we'd be, working with Alan here at the Brooklyn Paramount.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now, how many of you of the originals are still in the Clef Tones?
Well, there are two of the original Clef Tones, Charles James and myself.
Okay.
And the other two fellows have been with us a number of years, so it seems like they're original too. And we have had the good fortune of still being able to work. We were in Europe last year. We do 2 or 3 shows in Europe every year. And our careers have been great, and it basically all started right here.
Oh, great. So you guys have been all over, huh?
Absolutely all over. And we're getting ready to go out of town as soon as we leave this particular concert here. But this is a very, very special event, and we also feel especially honored to be I hear we're being elected to the Brooklyn Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tonight.
Oh, yes, that's fantastic.
Along with our
That's what we're here for.
along with the great Miss Laverne Baker. So I'm very, very pleased to be in her company. She's a great artist and a wonderful person, a warm person. She's meant an awful lot to this business. She's a real pioneer in the field of modern music, period.
Yeah, we hope to get another interview with her later.
Yes.
Now, I know you have so many great hits and great songs. What were some of your favorites to perform?
Well, I would be partial, but I will be partial because the ones that I wrote several of the songs. I wrote a song called Little Girl of Mine. I wrote another song called Can't We Be Sweethearts, which has become sort of a doo-wop classic. And, of course, we did our own rendition of Heart and Soul, an old standard, which was a million-selling record for us. And I particularly like those. So I have a lot of other favorites, but those are the ones I like to remind the public of. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, it's getting very exciting here. Everyone is arriving, getting warmed up, so good luck tonight. I can't wait to see you on stage.
My pleasure, Mary
And
Beth.
thank you so much.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Okay.
Enjoy the show.
Oh,
Okay?
thanks.
Bye-bye.
Great interview, Mary Beth.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it was very interesting. He gave us a lot of information about the past and, a little history about his group.
Yeah.
So
They were truly, Herb Cox and the Clef Tones were truly one of the pioneer groups of rock and roll. They started when it all started back in the 50s with Alan Freed.
Well, it was funny to hear that the way they thought of Alan Freed. I mean, they put him so high up on a pedestal, as though he was just, untouchable. And then they kind of became a part of it. He really led them into stardom. So
That he did.
kinda interesting.
And remember the Cousin Brucey interview when Cousin Brucey said Alan Freed used to bang his fist on the table and go into his rage over rock and roll, and he really did create a rage with rock and roll.
Right.
We're going to go to Vito Picone,
Right, and the elegance.
so stick around. We're coming back.
Here to celebrate a tribute to the golden age of rock and roll and the first annual Brooklyn Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Awards. Well, welcome.
Well, thanks, Mary Beth.
So
Thank you
nice
very
to
much.
finally meet you.
Yes, my pleasure. My pleasure. And I'm glad to meet you here. I mean, this is something that's going to be a very, very enjoyable evening because I'm seeing a lot of friends that we've been with over the last 30 years, and being inducted in the Hall of Fame tonight is something that we're really looking forward to. And it's nice every once in a while to have somebody say thank you in this manner. So we're very, very happy.
Well, that's great. Well, I know that everyone who is, related to rock and roll, they know Alan Freed. Now, how do you know Alan Freed?
We did the Brooklyn Fox show, the Labor Day show in 1958. Was Alan Freed's Big Beat rock and roll show. At as a matter of fact, not too far from here, at the Brooklyn Fox.
Oh yeah.
And that was the first introduction to Alan Freed. And then we consequently did quite a few of the television shows with him when he had his television show, and we did one or two other shows after that with him. So we not only were fans of Alan Freed's when he first started, but we wound up being on the show, and it was one of the greatest thrills of our lives.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, I understand that you guys have a very interesting story about how you got your name, The Elegance. You want to tell us about that?
Okay. That story, I mean, I've probably told this story a few times over the years, but that question was asked by Dick Clark on the American Bandstand show when they were taping live, when they were shooting live. And he asked us where we got it, and Dr. Pepper was the sponsor of his show, and we told him, yes, we got the name Elegance from a bottle of Shenley whiskey. And zap, we were off the air in about 5 seconds. But actually what it really was, in the local tavern on the corner where we were singing, in the window, there was one of those little placards that was in the window, and it said, Shenley, the whiskey of elegance. And we just transposed the ANCE to ANTS, and that was it.
Okay, you said, hey, we need a name, and that's how.
Well, we were throwing names in the hat like everybody else was, and everything we pulled out, we threw away. We weren't happy until we got to the Elegance, and we'd say, this is the one that's ringing a bell. It rang everybody's bell, and that's what we did. We went with it. So.
Now, you have your own TV show?
Yeah, I have a television show on Staten Island cable at CTV, and we actually tape once a month, but we tape 2 shows, and then we air them alternate weekends, Saturday night at 9 o'clock, and it is a It is an American Bandstand type of a show, where I have the guests come on, they lip sync to their hits, then they do 1 or 2 a cappella numbers, we sit down, we discuss it, and we have community groups come up, organizations come up, and they dance on the show. So it's the same people that were dancing to
Sounds like fun.
That's it. They were dancing to American Bandstand. Now they're dancing to, to Let the Good Times Roll, which is the name of the show.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Right, thank you.
You know, Mary Beth, Vito Picone and the Elegants, their hit "Where Are You Little Star" happened to be their very first recording, and it went straight to the top 10.
Wow, that's something else. Your first recording, and it becomes your first hit.
Quite an accomplishment.
That's pretty fantastic.
Well, Vito Picone also happened to be, in 1957, the second white group at the time to have a #1 hit.
Wow.
The first one.
Wow.
First
well,
group
that's
was
back in that time, though.
Danny and the Juniors at the Hop was the very first hit for a white doo-wop group.
Wow.
Little trivia there.
Yeah, and, just something interesting there. When he recorded his first
Where Are
song
You Little
there,
Star?
that was the same, or when it became #1, rather.
Right.
That was the same week that Michael Jackson was born.
Wow, I bet
So
you did your
isn't that
homework
neat?
for that
Yep.
one, huh? Okay.
But yeah, that was a great interview. I remember I had to look up the whole time, though. He's a very tall man, Vito. He also has his own TV
Television show, that's right.
Yeah, in Staten Island.
Staten Island. We're going to be going out there hopefully soon and do some taping with him maybe.
I like the way that he got the name for the group, the Elegants.
Yeah.
That's quite a little story there. He got it from a whiskey bottle.
That's right.
That's something.
That's always an interesting antidote to find out where groups got their names from.
A lot of them have those, little interesting stories behind it.
So we're going on location where?
Okay, well, we're still going to be at the original site of the Paramount.
Right.
But some of the other groups that we're going to have coming up, we're going to have interviews with the Rob Roys and Joe Franklin and the Bobettes.
That's right.
And just one little point of interest here, and that's the fact that all of these groups were inducted into the Alan Freed Hall of Fame. So that's just a little footnote there.
Okay, great. So stay right there. We're going to be back with more of the Jersey Spotlight.
I told you 5 times to spend time with you. A Sunday, a Tuesday, and evening.
Okay, welcome back. We're going now on location with Mary Beth back to the Brooklyn Paramount. And Mary Beth did a interview with Norman Fox.
Norman Fox and the Rob Roys.
Yes, they had a great hit, Dream Girl and Pizza Pie.
Right.
We'll take you there right now.
With me, I have Norman Fox and the Rob Roys. Hello, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Well, it's a great pleasure to be in Brooklyn. After all the years that I spent when I was a kid in the back of this theater, it's like a landmark to me, and it's a great place to be. It's great to be here for the reunion.
Yeah, it's great to see that they were able to keep, a lot of the building.
Yeah. Well, I think Long Island University had a lot to do with keeping it up, or they probably would have thrown it down years ago. So we can thank them.
Oh, good. Now, who do we have with us here today? Get everyone's names.
Bob Thierra,
Bob, okay.
Alex Augustine,
Alex,
Jay McKnight.
Jay,
Tino Alvarez.
And I'm Kim Fox,
Kim?
Norman's daughter.
Norman's daughter. Okay, gotcha. Now, how did you guys get together? How did you guys become
Well,
this
you
group?
want the original way we got together back in 1956?
Okay, sure. Let's start with that.
We went to DeWitt Clinton High School in the Bronx, and rock and roll was becoming the new rage in the country. And we were listening to Alan Freed's show on WINS, and we decided to imitate all the sounds that we heard. That's how we got together then. And how we got together now was they wanted to do a lot of revival shows. People asked us to do revival shows. So we formed a new group. Bob and I are the only original members of the group.
Okay.
And the rest of the fellas have sung around with 100 different groups. And my daughter Kim, who's a cabaret singer, has joined us to take some of the edge off, to give us a little diversification.
Yeah, I just heard you sing. Fantastic voice.
Oh, thank you.
Really nice job. Okay. Now, I know you guys have a lot of great songs. What are some of your favorites that you like to perform?
Well, we do a song like A Little Star, and by a group that's going to be here tonight, the Elegants. And
Herbie Cox tune.
And we do Herbie Cox tune, Little Girl of Mine. We like to do our own stuff, Tell Me Why, which is on the all-time rock and roll charts, and Dream Girl, and many other songs from that period of time, which we think is a great vehicle of music.
Okay. Now, I understand and that you wrote some of these songs?
Well, we wrote Tell Me Why as a group. I wrote Pizza Pie, which I didn't mention to you, and Dream Girl, and a number of other songs, yes.
Okay, well, great. Well, guys, go out there and knock them dead tonight. All right, thanks for joining us.
You want to be at the show?
Thank you.
Yes, I'll be there tonight. I'll be cheering you guys on.
Terrific.
Norman Fox and the Rob Roys had a long recording career from 1957 all the way up to 1990. They had some really great hits, Tell Me Why, Dance Girl Dance, Dream Girl, Lover Doll, Rainy Day, Bells, and it goes on and on and on. And you know, Mary Beth, they were one of the very first interracial groups to perform on the doo-wop scene.
Really?
In that
Okay.
era, yeah.
Right. Well, they started up in the Bronx. As you heard in the interview, they used to listen to Alan Freed on the radio and decided that they wanted to imitate a lot of their sounds. And that's kind of how they got started, and quite successful at that.
And according to the Billboard Book of Vocal Groups, they were one of the most underrated and overlooked groups ever to record a 45. So
Wow.
that's a shame, but they did have a long recording career, and they're still around today, going strong.
Right, and what was really neat is the fact that Norman Fox's daughter is now a member of the group. So
that's right.
there aren't really, you know, that many, you know, father-daughter groups out there. Not to my knowledge.
And
So
you
that
had
was kinda neat.
you had a great interview with them.
Yeah, they were a fun group, and they really, you know, brought the house down later on.
Now we're going back to the Paramount with who's up next?
Okay, up next, I believe we're going to have the Bobettes. We're here for the first annual tribute to the Brooklyn Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And with me this evening I have
Laura,
Laura. Hello, Laura.
Aretha, and Emma.
Emma. And all three are from the original Bobettes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and they started out right here in New York, New York. And how did you guys get started?
Well, we used to go to school together, elementary school, and we had the same teachers, and we were in the Glee Club together.
Okay,
And we
PS
started.
109, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's where we started at, and we wrote a song about Mr. Lee.
Okay, and he was your principal.
Well, he was a teacher
No,
at the
he was a
time.
teacher,
You know, he got
okay.
promoted after
And
we
he
made the
became
song
a-
about him.
after he became a nationally known figure.
Right, then they made him principal, and that's how we started.
Really? Okay. Now, how did you guys know Alan Freed? What was your connection with him?
Well, we just did shows with him, and he emceed the shows. That's how we got to know him.
Yeah. Okay, that's great.
Or every place, but we mostly work on weekends now, doing the Old Goldie circuit.
Okay.
And wherever we do travel abroad as well.
Oh, really?
Of
Where?
course. Been to England, been to Ireland, England.
We've been to the British West Indies. Oh, you name it.
We've been around. I mean, we've been the whole circuit around.
Really?
Yeah.
Years, remember?
Wow, the Bobettes have been all over.
Yes.
Nationally.
A couple of times.
Oh, that's great. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck tonight. I can't wait to see you on stage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, Mary Beth, the Bobettes were one of the first female groups to break through on the scene in that era.
Finally, they got to show those male singers that women can do it too.
And they had a smash hit all over the country called Mr. Lee.
Right, and it's funny, I was doing a little research and I found out that they actually didn't like Mr. Lee. And they had the original song that they recorded. They didn't get to let that one be released until after Mr. Lee became a hit. And then they kind of got a little justice there and got to sing I Shot Mr. Lee was
That's
the
right.
sequel
That's
to
right.
that one. So they got to sing that one.
They had a long recording career from 1957 to 1974.
Wow, over 20 years.
And they were also known to be the first female group to top the top 10 and have a hit on the R&B charts at the same time.
Wow. I just want to point out that these three ladies, they were a fantastic interview. I mean, the rapport between the three of them, they were forever, busting each other's chops, and they were very funny.
Yeah.
They were a delight to interview.
True performers.
Yes. They
Professionals
tour
all over.
all over the world.
That's right.
They mostly, do weekends doing the oldies circuit, but they've been all over the world.
And they're still going strong today.
Right.
We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with more. We're going on location with Joe Franklin and Mary Beth, so stay tuned.
Is all that it takes. Just know you tried. What else it brings, it makes you got to take time.
With me this evening, I have the pleasure to introduce to you the king of late night TV, Joe Franklin.
King of neuralgia, king of neuralgia.
The king of neuralgia?
I mean nostalgia. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here because I'm known for the opposite of rock and roll. I'm known for what you would call the Eddie Cantor days, the Al Jolson days, the Rudy Valley days, Kate Smith days, but I do have memories, Mary Beth, of chatting. You know, I gave the first exposure on TV to a lot of people. Nobody discovers anybody, but I gave the first exposure ever on TV to people like Bill Cosby, Woody Allen, Bette Midler, Barbra Streisand, Liza Minnelli, Bruce Springsteen, Michael Jackson with the Jackson 5 many times. And I've got a memory of a certain panel about 1956 comprising Elvis Presley, Jimmy Rogers, a man named Jimmy Rogers with a test record of a song called Honeycomb. And on that same panel was a lady named Ann Margaret Olson, who later on became known as Ann Margaret, dropped the Olson. So I've got a certain warm feeling for what they call rock and roll nostalgia. And I remember when it first broke in, I had critics on my show, famous newspaper and magazine critics, who said this rock and roll thing is only a fad. It won't last. I would say it's
proved them wrong.
Been so far a 42-year fad, right?
Okay, we want to thank you for joining us on the Mary Beth McDade Show. I'm only kidding. You did a great job, Mary Beth.
Thank you very much.
Great
Joe
interviews.
Franklin was a great way to end the show, and we're gonna miss him a lot now that his show is off the air. But as he said, he's ending on a good, happy feeling.
And so are we. So we'll see you again real soon.
Stay tuned.
Bye.
I drove you 5 times to spend time with you, a Sunday or two.